And, but we had one day where the one video where we did legs with Dan, that was like a 4 or 5 hour day with it was just me, Dan, Jason, and the cameraman and Jason's brother Paul. So it was like just the four of us, and it was fun.
Well, and of course, all the girls that are in Dan's house, right?
Oh yeah, because there's just random chicks walking around like all the time. Like, what are they? What like who are they? Where did they come from? Yeah, they're wandering around the house in bikinis all day long. It's great.
Living the dream, man.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, like, again, on the evolution of the character of Robert Frank and even your gym routine. You weren't into sports, but when did you get into the gym? Do you remember, like, what got you there, and at what point did you like just fall in love with the gym?
Early 20s, I would say. Maybe. Yeah, it was definitely early 20s because I remember being like 125 pounds at like 22 or 23, however old I was at the time before I started like really lifting. And I was just tired of it. And there's one long, boring story, but I got into a confrontation with some dude at a carnival. There was like, a carnival with Ferris wheels and cotton candy, like a regular carnival. Yeah. And I was with one of my ex-girlfriends at the time, and we were walking around holding hands, and this one dude made a comment about my girl. Now, he had on like a button-up or button-down shirt, whatever, and me wanting to protect, not want to look like a bitch and protect my girlfriend, and that was disrespectful. I got up in the dude's face at 120-something pounds, and he started unbuttoning his shirt, and he took his shirt off like he was getting ready to fight.
Ready.
Jacked out of his mind, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucked. So that was one of the reasons that I started lifting weights, because I didn't want to be that guy again, being intimidated by some jack dude.
And at what point did you give up on legs?
I never started legs.
You never started legs?
No, I never started legs. So that's actually that's a shoot. That's not like part of the character. I didn't do legs in the beginning because the guy that trained me to actually lift weights and show me how to do shoulders and chest and back and arms, legs was never part of it. And I never thought to ask. I was never like, hey, well, what about my legs? I didn't give a fuck about my legs. And then, I heard the interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin where he was asking, he told the story how he asked Ravishing Rick Rude, who was one of the best physiques in pro wrestling ever, just jacked out of his mind and a legit tough guy. Steve Austin asked Rick Rude, like, dude, why don't you do legs? And Rick Rude said it's an upper body business. So I kind of, I've taken on that saying. And there was a brief period where me and Vinny would do legs once or twice a week, and we would film it just because we thought it would be good content. We're like, all right, for 3 years, I've been saying that fuck legs. We're not doing legs. No more legs, no more legs, no more legs. And then all of a sudden, maybe people want to see it. So I did a video squatting. I did a video doing this. I did a video doing, 3 or 4 leg days in a row. 0 people gave a fuck. So, and I haven't done legs. I did legs once with Guy Cisternino to punish myself for not giving Patreon a workout video for 1 month. And then I did legs at Dan's house.
Yes.
When they surprised me that we were going to do legs that day, which I didn't want to do. And so that was it.
Now, from what I've seen, you do have leg strength.
If you want to consider like 6 plates on each side of the leg press, leg strength, I think I did that with Guy. I don't know how many times, 6 or 8 or 10 reps, maybe. Squatting. They didn't put any more than a 45 on each side. So what is that? 135.
Yeah.
You could do that for 10, 20 reps, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I guess maybe.
Yeah, because the big thing that you see, with the people who talk about, who never skip leg day is basically like when you see like the guy with the really twig legs. But then from all the videos that we see of you, you don't have twig legs by any means.
Oh, no, they're twigs, bro. Which is why I don't put them in a lot of videos. If they get a good.
No, I mean like real twigs, like almost no muscle, like.
I guess I'm not that bad, but they're pretty small.
Fantastic. So, so the development of the character, of Robert Frank. So some people are probably quite surprised that you aren't this, constant rage guy and all these different types of things. And I'm sure from the first video that you've done with the character to where you are now, there's been somewhat of an evolution.
Oh, yeah.
Was there somebody that kind of inspired you? Like, do you kind of channel a person that you've actually met, or is it completely your design? Like you've just completely made it?
Well, if you go way back on my YouTube channel, there's videos from like 2014, 2015, where I was doing that shtick in the car, yelling about something, yelling about people that wear lifting gloves, or people. It was all like gym related stuff. But it really never took off. It was, it was getting the same amount of views or less than my other videos. So I never really thought, that it would be anything. And then, of course, in July of 2016, when the Pokemon Go phenomenon came out, and Joey Bag of Donuts was in the gym trying to catch Pokemon while I was dying on the bench press, I ran outside and I cut that promo, and that's my claim to fame, or that's what's launched me from zero to hero. But if there's somebody that I would pattern myself after, I would say that it's the cadence original. Now I'm doing like rhyming in the videos, and I kind of created my own like tone and stuff. But in the very beginning, I would mimic the cadence of the franchise Shane Douglas, who was a professional wrestler from ECW. Yeah. That's when he was at his prime, when he was in ECW cutting those promos. So if you go back and listen to the very first Rage videos, it's me like kind of mimicking his cadence and his tone and the kind of things that he would say. But since then, it's morphed into much bigger things, I guess.
Yeah, the first video that I saw of you, and this is before I even really talked to Brook about the Glorious House of Gainz or anything. This was like 2016 actually, was the Make the Gym Great Again.
Yeah.
And I saw a bunch of friends posting that, and I was like, this is hilarious. Like this, because it was a way, what I like is, you talk about certain things, but you still like, you'll, especially now with everything that's going on with the quarantine, you'll talk about like, what your governor's doing and all this stuff, and then your focus is really, I just want to go back to the gym. You're not making it some other thing about, some other political thing, or you're not talking about what's going on in DC or anything. You talk about things that matter to the character, which is what I like. You just like make the gym great again. It's it touches on that Make America Great Again, but you're not really supporting any of that either. You're just saying, I just want, just people need to go to the gym. We're going to get along in there. And I think that's the huge appeal that you had once you did that. I mean, and I know that wasn't the first video that took off, right? I know it's probably one of the first ones.
That was still in 2016. But it was more, if you got to go by my voice, like the tone of voice that I was using in those videos to kind of gauge of what time that was. But I think that was when I was starting to growl. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I would have to go back and watch it. But no, that's the whole thing. Like when there are people on social media that clearly make no mistake about it. They'll tell you if they love Trump. They'll tell you if they hate Trump. They're outspelled. Michael Rappaport, for example, he bashes Trump every fucking chance he gets. Or someone like Emery King, who I don't know if you guys are familiar with.
Yep.
He's pro-Trump, and he'll say Trump is the best thing since sliced bread. These are the kind of guys that don't give a fuck about losing a big portion of their audience. So to me, when I was up and coming, I was like, well, shit, if I like back Trump, I'm going to lose all the people that hate Trump, and then vice versa. So I always try to make it where I was in the middle. Like, yeah, I'll talk about Trump in a video. I'll talk about Hillary Clinton in a video. I'll talk about Obama, but I'll never let you know whether or not I'm for them. I'm for the gym. I'm for the bringing people back to the glorious house of Gainz. So
you'll talk about if, Trump going to the gym or Hillary went to the gym, and maybe make a little joke in there, but you're not going to be like, I like this or I don't like this or whatever.
Right. And you can't, I mean, you can do that because clearly people are doing it, but you don't really want to piss off, your audience, because people on social media, they're very flighty. Like they'll love you. You'll motivate them to go to the gym. They'll love all your videos. You make them laugh in every video for 5 straight years. The one video where you're like, I can't wait to go vote for Trump, they'll fucking bounce on you. They'll leave. you know? So you got to be very careful with what you say.
Exactly.